ESPN and the PBA present the championship round finals of the Great Lakes Classic, live from Grand Rapids, Michigan. After notching title number 5 in 1994 last week, the tour's leading money winner, Norm Duke, is looking to lock up PBA Player of the Year honors this evening from the top seed position. And welcome, everyone, to the Welsh Auditorium located in beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, along with PBA Hall of Famer Mike Durbin. And, Mike, we thought we had seen the best of Norm Duke last week when he captured victory number 5 here at 1994. He comes right back, though, in sensational form and leads this one tonight.
Yes, Dan, he's trying for victory number 6 tonight. Last night in 3 games, he bowled 279, 279, 300. 34 out of a possible 36 strikes. He's showing why he's solidifying his hold on PBA Player of the Year this year.
All right, time now for us to switch over to Bobby Dinkins, our PA announcer, for tonight's starting lineups.
Introducing the finalists for tonight's championship round of the Great Lakes PBA Classic. Our number 5-seeded bowler is making the second television appearance of his career and trying to win his first PBA title from Rockaway, New Jersey. Please welcome Jeff Moran. This second bowler is also seeking his very first title and making his 6th career telecast from Munster, Indiana, Eugene McCune. Our 3rd-seeded player is trying to get back in the winner's circle after a 2-year absence. All totaled, he has 9 titles and was the 1991 PBA Player of the Year from Kingston, New York, Dave Ferraro. Grabbing this 2nd-seeded position is a 4-time champion from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Just 3 weeks ago, he finished 2nd at the Touring Players Championship, and earlier this summer became the 8th bowler in PBA history to roll a 300 game on national television, Butch Soper. And our top-seeded player is trying to become the first bowler to win back-to-back titles this year. He's already won 5 times and earned over $250,000. A victory tonight could solidify his first PBA Player of the Year award from Edmond, Oklahoma, Norm Duke.
A terrific show on tap, some very talented players.
Yeah, Dan, we've got a blend of inexperience, an old veteran in Butch Soper, and possible greatness in Norm Duke.
All right, we're ready for the start of match number 1 featuring Eugene McCune and Jeff Moran. A couple of very talented players, both seeking their first victories.
Eugene McCune making his 3rd television appearance this year. Jeff Moran, his 2nd of his career. Kind of a contrast in styles, too. They both go straight, but McCune throws it with a lot of speed and loves that outside angle.
Solid 4, plenty of velocity on the opening shot.
He winds up doing that a lot, it seems like, from this angle. He gets into that trap of just a 4-pin high, makes the adjustment, and then it's a 2-8.
His sister Chris, an outstanding player in her own right on the ladies tour, was 8th heading into the final 16 games of match play earlier today.
Bowling family with Don McCune, Hall of Famer, PBA Hall of Famer. The 4-pin got swept off, so they have to reset it as Eugene waits for it. He will throw 1 fastball at this 4-pin.
Came very close indeed to winning a major championship, PBA National. Well, no matter what Eugene does, it's normally exciting. Spares are an adventure at times.
Sometimes, as hard as he throws it, you think he'd never miss one, but he has a tendency to let his emotions sometimes dictate to the brain.
Speaking of emotions, first ever appearance in the championship round for Jeff Moran.
Pretty square shot. Nice reaction.
Well, at least he got it off his hand.
Well, you know, he did bowl in Cleveland this year. He finished second in Cleveland.
Oh, that's right. Very solid, very square, and efficient type player.
Actually, that was last year he finished second. Trying for an early double. Right over the first arrow. Nice shot.
Comes out with the old 1-2. Eugene quickly up off the bench. Fans still filing in here to the beautiful Welsh Auditorium in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Kind of a horseshoe effect here with bleachers all the way around the lanes.
Oh, it's really a fantastic atmosphere. This time the 4-pin. Down quickly.
Just crunched it just a little bit. Eugene McCune holding the ball up way high here. 5-step player. Actually, only 4 at this point. Watch how high that backswing gets as he hits the next to last step. It goes out of the screen right here. As he drives through with all that speed and power. His arm looks like it's about 4 feet long and falls off balance.
Another big-time power shot. And a double for Eugene McCune. This really is a fantastic bowling area, Mike.
Always has been. Michigan's always been a great bowling area. Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing.
Very knowledgeable fans.
Nice shot. That came off his hand smooth right there. Jeff Moran holding the ball down lower than Eugene McCune. Takes a very small step with the left foot. Basically, it's a 4-step approach. A little late in the timing right there. You see, now he hits here, and the ball still was going up at that point. Much shorter backswing, but very square at the line. Very accurate. Not a power player, Dan, at all.
That one hooked early, 3-10 after a 3-bagger.
Well, his elbow went right, his thumb went left, and the ball grabbed the lane early. That was one of those ones that he got it over his target, but he got it over his target heading left rather than down the lane. 3-10, he wants to move left, hit the 3-pin on the right, deflect into the 10. Nope.
Open frame for Jeff Moran. So a window of opportunity for Eugene McCune. We'll find out if he takes advantage of it when we come back to Grand Rapids right after these messages. The championship round finals of the Great Lakes Classic are being brought to you by Filtrete Clean Air Filters from 3M. And by the Florida Keys and Key West, the real Florida. Eugene McCune with a 4-pin lead, working on a double, and now we are in the 4th frame.
And an interesting development here, Denny, because there's only 4 lanes here. There's no practice pair, so to speak. So the other 3 finalists zipped out in between the commercial and took some practice shots on lanes 1 and 2 as Eugene gets strike number 3.
The other thing you have to remember is when you start to run these shots out, there's only 4 lanes of approach.
Right, you got to... Eugene McCune playing the extreme outside angle. See how the ball gets right out over the edge there. Comes in half pocket. 6-pin knocks out that 10 right there. Very little time.
Fast 8.
Very fast.
The fastest 8 I think I've ever seen.
He said the left lane hooked a hair more for him.
Everything's relative. It's got to be, what, I'm just guessing 20
I would guess over 20
plus.
miles an hour. Yeah, 20 plus. And probably gets harder at the spare. Well, he's smiling. Never know what's going on in his brain.
Just a young thoroughbred still trying to find his paces. Turn him loose, he's going to run himself out. But when he learns to win, watch out.
Watch out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Well, we know there's talent in the family, that's for sure.
It'll happen.
Oh, nice shot there.
You know, what's interesting, too, Mike, you look at the dispositions, the personalities of these two players, almost exactly the opposite.
Jeff Moran, again, both players playing outside angle, right over about the first arrow there. Comes in light in the pocket, and the 4-5-7 wind up dancing on down. Big shot right here, Dan. Needs a double to get his confidence back and to get the match within 2 pins. Over the 6th board that time. Right there. We're sitting right behind lane 3.
Nice comeback effort. Winner of this game takes on Dave Ferraro. Butch Soper, who shot 300 earlier this year on ESPN's number 2. And the man of the hour, the man of the year, Norm Duke, is our top seed. We had a chance to talk to Eugene last night and ask him, you don't have a victory, but are you happy with your career at this point?
I'm happy with the last 2 years, but I still want the win. I mean, I want to go to the Tournament of Champions and maybe win that one too. But the victory would be great, especially here.
The more difficult of the 2 lanes for him. Great shot, Denny.
Well, it's hard to tell if he's throwing it harder or not, trying to make the adjustment for the lane that hooks a little more. Eugene leads by a dozen. We'll be back with Leash number 1 right after this. Trust me, that trophy is almost as tall as Jeff Moran is.
Definitely as tall as Norm Duke, huh?
I'm going to say it's in the neighborhood. But Norm is plenty strong enough to take it home, I can tell you that.
Jeff Moran with 5 out of 6 strikes has not missed the right lane yet. Can cut the match to 2 pins with a turkey here. Perfect shot there. Again from behind. There's the score. Difference 2 pins. Both players on strikes. Jeff Moran again from the outside angle right over the first arrow. See it? Dead over 5. Ball finishes flush into the 1-3 pocket. Can take the lead with this shot. He missed right, Denny, and it hooks early when he misses right.
Miscue in the 4th as well.
Same thing. The same identical miscue, only that time he left the 3-10, this time the 3-6. Imperative that he make this spare. Keeps him within 4 pins of the match.
All right. Possible 234 still left for Moran.
The first shot, he's actually aiming at about the 6th board on this left lane. He got it out to the 4th board. It's drier out there. Grabbed the lane early, right through the heart of the pins, and gets 8 out of it in a spare. Not bad. McCune.
And if he takes it off the sheet, Michael, 268.
That puts him up by 14. Eugene McCune, we see the close-up cam right there. Snapping out that 10 at the end.
I think we should nickname that the Samuel Cam.
Samuel Cam? Oh,
right.
For Ken Samuel, our
Sure.
director. Huh?
Right. He's the guy that sets it up there every week. That was picture perfect right there, the setup shot.
Also puts him up by 24, forces Jeff Moran to strike out to have any chance in the match.
And regardless of what Jeff does, Eugene's in a very good position.
Sure likes that lane. In fact, nobody's missed that lane yet.
These two guys have thrown some beautiful shots.
For the inexperience of being on television, you know. Only Jeff's 2nd time on TV, Eugene's 3rd time this year.
And I would venture to say, probably the first time in this type of an atmosphere in an arena.
Big shot here. He's got to keep the ball on line. Can't leak it right. Right over the target. And didn't make it up. A little more speed. That's the adjustment. Probably moved another board left with the speed. Hit about the 7th board rather than the 6th.
Just overcooked it a touch. There you saw he was appreciative of the fans here in Grand Rapids.
Good shot. Choke it off.
Take a good shot and choke it off, he says.
Well, he had the velocity, kept the ball on line. He just didn't quite catch it. And at this level, one errant shot, and you're going home.
Yep.
It'll be a 5th place finish for Jeff Moran.
Maybe next one. Throw it hard. Hey, how about that?
Yeah, that's the shot he's looking for.
One gladiator done for the evening. The other one advances to look for another opponent in center ring. Eugene is loose and throwing nothing but strikes.
But he needs to avoid getting too pumped up over this victory. He's got 3 more matches to win if he wants to achieve his goal. I mean, he's got by 1, but hey, now you start focusing on Dave Ferraro. He's former PBA Player of the Year.
Spare in the 1st, spare in the 5th. A lot of X's other than that. And it's a waltz into victory in game number 1. One more strike, and it's 268.
Ten out of 12 strikes. With a strike on the fill ball here.
That'll do it. Eugene explodes for 268 in game number 1. When we come back, Mike Durbin's average builder. A look at different types of equipment.
Every year on the PBA Tour, new innovations come along. The pros fall in love with them, then they filter down to the general bowling public. This year, the buzzword that I keep hearing is track flare. But I have several questions. The first one is, what in the world is track flare? What does it do to a bowling ball? And can the average league bowler out there take advantage of it? Well, to answer these questions, we have with us the Player Services Director of the PBA, Larry Lichstein. And Larry, I got to ask you right off the bat, what in the world is track flare?
Mike, track flare is as the ball rolls down the lane, it rolls on a new part of the ball or new surface. This is caused by the weight block tilting the ball towards its axis, causing the track to flare.
You mean that weight block over there is in the ball?
This weight block right here is causing this type of ball to flare, causing new friction and more hook.
So why does rolling on a fresh surface create more hook?
Because of the friction. Keep in mind, on a tight rolling ball, or what we call a tight track, the ball rolls over the same area as it goes down the lane. This area will fill up with oil, causing less friction. But if you're rolling on new surface, you get more friction. The oil that was over here is not over here, and it causes more hook.
Can the average league bowler use that and take advantage of it?
Most definitely. Tonight, all of our finalists are using track flare balls. They've been using them all year. It's a state-of-the-art in the 90s, and I recommend that all people try it.
Okay, we've got several different ball halves here. Why don't you explain these to me?
This ball here is a standard 3-piece ball. It represents a construction of the 60s and 70s. We have a core, a very small weight block. The ball rolls stable. In the 80s, we came out with the 2-piece ball, what we call the pear-shaped weight block or the light bulb weight block, which was the type of core in this particular ball as well as this one. This caused what we call a stable roll, not much track flare. In the 90s, the densities changed. This piece here weighs different to this piece. Of course, the outer shell weighs different as well, causing a large amount of track flare. Same type of situation with this ball. We have density here. We have a higher weight block here. This ball will go down the lane with a barbell effect, causing this type of track flare.
Does that increase the scores?
It increases scores, it increases hook, it increases power, and even you could strike.
Oh, really? Well, we're going to find out, because earlier I threw a shot with this ball, and it's got a piece of tape right at the axis point of my track. Now, as the ball goes down the lane, it'll turn on its axis and start to go into a roll. That tape will be stable and then wobble. When it wobbles, that's track flare. Let's take a look at it. Here's the delivery coming up. There it is. See the tape stable. Now it's wobbling, hooking up, and still tripping the floor, Larry, like you used to do. And throwing a hook like you used to do, too. Be sure and join us next week in Chicago when we'll have another average builder.
Well, without question, both Eugene and Dave have always had a flair for the dramatic. When we come back, we'll find out what they quit. View from atop here at the Welsh Auditorium. Dave Ferraro, Eugene McCune, set for game number 2 of the Great Lakes Classic.
And Dave Ferraro really struggling this year. He's only won $20,000. You know, he's a former PBA Player of the Year. Last year he won $93,000. He said that he fell earlier in the year and hurt his shoulder and had trouble with the rotator cuff as he starts with a strike, and that really affected his performance.
You mentioned to me that David was very confused in the practice session, didn't really seem to have the right equipment or the right line, but over the last couple of minutes during that last break, I think he found something.
Well, he did switch balls. He was using a different ball in practice and switched to this toward the end.
More track flare.
More track flare.
The long wait.
Yep. First mistake he makes, and he pays for it all the way. The 6-7, what he wants to do is hit the 6 on the right. Firing down there, slide it over. Nope, didn't do it.
Good effort, but time now to just forget the first frame and start anew.
Not much other choice.
From Munster, Indiana. Of course, Dad made that famous for many years.
Nice shot there, right back in it. Ferraro trying to take an early 21-pin lead if he can double. Very calm and relaxed. Dave Ferraro, 5-step player, holds the ball waist high right here, all the way at the back of the approach. Just kind of walks up there and drops the ball down. Head's very steady. Now look at how short the backswing is, especially compared to McCune. We got two tremendously contrasting styles. Look at the nice knee bend here, the good angle at the back, and the left arm out for balance.
Ferraro, the 8-time titleist, off to a nice start.
Got a nice reaction with this ball. He did not have this reaction in practice. Put the pressure on McCune right away. Eugene down by 31 pins has got to double right here to keep himself in the match.
Wired on the right-hand lane on lane 4. Beautiful shot there. Don't forget, as soon as we are done here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we'll be sending it out to Al Bernstein, Joel Myers for Top Rank Boxing from Samstown in the state of Mississippi.
Samstown in the state of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. You thought they were only in Las Vegas.
Yes, you're right. I did. Oh, what a nice shot that was, boy.
Is that a flamin' G out there right now?
Yeah, flamin' G,
Is
right.
That a flaming?
That's a flamin' G all the way.
Okay.
Eugene McCune playing the flaming G, which is the flaming gutter, as he sends it right out to the edge there and back flush.
I think he has Mr. Ferraro's attention.
Dave's not afraid of anybody.
No. Beautiful shot by Dave Ferraro, trying to maintain pace and keep a little pressure on the youngster.
Well, he made the mistake in the first frame, and right now Ferraro's taking advantage of it. Perfect through 4 frames.
Last win for Dave Ferraro, 1992.
June of 92. That's 2.5 years now.
Riverside, California.
That's the last time he won a match on TV.
Hard to believe.
got the 4-pin out of there. Big
Threw it a little
shot.
high. Ball set up for him very nicely.
Well, the 2-pin just crunched the 4 again. As it went by over the top, it just got the top of the 4. Again, McCune's in the position down 31 with his turn to bowl. He's got to strike twice again. Oh, that one held.
Ball hits the pins almost instantaneously after being released.
When you're falling off balance like that, though, to the right, like he does constantly, it just seems to me that sooner or later it's going to be an errant shot. Yeah. Somebody knows how to keep score. They want to keep their own, although we have big scoreboards overhead.
Can't tell a player without a program. Oh! Another big-time shot by Eugene McCune, and Ferraro is up off the bench in a hurry.
5 in a row to 6 in a row. 11 pins of difference. Hey, this is professional bowling at its best.
High-scoring conditions set up for the pros tonight. Taking advantage of the outside angle.
Ferraro, perfect halfway. There's the scoreboard right there.
That reminds me of the old days on the PBA Tour. It would have been Weber and Bluth up there. Remember when they used to keep the score by hand?
Yes.
You remember that because that's when you were a star on the tour.
That's how I learned it. Never mind. I won't respond to that.
Oh, I used to love that.
Trying for 7. Oh, my goodness.
7 is heaven. He's got him hooting and hollering. Keep in mind, a perfect game pays $10,000.
And Eugene McCune says, every time I get up on this right-hand lane, I'm down 31 pins.
I got news for him. It's happened again.
Yep. Oh, nice shot, but finally he gets tapped. First time he didn't strike when he hit the pocket on that lane. Just kind of lays in there. We take a look at it here. Watch the 6-pin, this one right over here, and it just lays in the channel, doesn't snap out of there. Makes the spare. But right now, Spare's just throwing further behind. He's 32 pins behind.
Butch Soper next in line, top seed Norm Duke. $16,000 in first place prize money.
Got to get himself back on track. Hey, what are you going to do?
Congratulate him if he takes this one all the way off the sheet.
He's asking for a re-rack. Well, I don't know. Sometimes your eyes see things. He may have seen a 10-pin on that rack. It looked pretty good to me. He may have just taken that re-rack to buy time to make this shot.
16 career 300 games, but none in the championship round for Dave Ferraro.
Well, he picked the right rack, Denny, as we're going to take another look at it. Comes in light. Watch the 5-pin. Just gets the 5. The head pin gets the 4-7. His reaction, excitement.
More long. Same result.
Well, that basically locks up the victory because the best Eugene McCune can get is 258 if he takes it off the sheet. Even if Ferraro opens, he's in the 260s.
Tremendous performance tonight by Eugene McCune, but it's just not going to be quite enough. He ran into a buzzsaw.
Well, Denny, it shows me just how tough the competition is. Let's strike him out for 258. That's 10 strikes. He had 10 the first match, comes out and throws 20 out of 24 strikes and goes home.
Good point.
Boy, he just threw a bullet straight ball. I mean, he's angry right now. That's his anger shot. Still strikes.
Young strapping right-hander who right now is just ripping the cover off of that ball.
And as soon as he didn't strike in the first frame, I mean, even if you give him that strike back in the 7th, he'd finish with 270. It would have forced Ferraro to get the first one to win.
Yeah.
Amazing. 20 out of 24 strikes, and he's going to go home.
Dave Ferraro just trying to calm down a little bit, set himself up. Terrific game by Eugene McCune, but now all eyes here at Welsh Auditorium. Squarely on the shoulders of Dave Ferraro.
$10,000 from the PBA if he takes it out.
All right, Michael, what's he thinking right now?
One more. That's all he's thinking, Denny. One more. He's not even thinking 300 yet. He knows it's there, but it's not there until he gets this one.
Solid as a rock, and Ferraro has them up on their feet here, Mike Durbin.
What could you say? I mean, he gave it a little more room. It came in late. He thought it would strike, though.
A sensational shot.
We'll take a look at it here. Watch it. He sends it a little bit wider out to maybe the second board. 6-pin wraps around that 10. 289.
Magnificent performance by both professionals. The final 289, 254. Dave Ferraro advances to the semifinal game. We'll come back and take a look at the rest of our top 24 from the Race Classic this week in Grand Rapids. Oh, so close to perfection and an extra $10,000 for Dave Ferraro. A brilliant 289 to 254 victory over Eugene McCune. And let's take a look at the way the rest of the professionals finished up this week. Amleto Monticelli a close 6th. Ricky Ward, number 7 this week, and Tim Chris finished up in the 8th slot.
Finishing 9th, our current president of the PBA, Mike Albee. Billy Oakes finished 10th. He had a rough last round. Kevin Sands from Scotland, number 11.
On down through the top 24. Curtis Odom back in the finals. Walter Ray Williams Jr. having a spectacular year, 13th. And Jimmy Johnson, who was on the telecast this past week, number 14.
And Tom Baker, we saw him last week. He finished 15th. Scott Smith from Lansing, nearby. And Joe Baca. Looks like his dad, doesn't he?
In the number 18 position, veteran Dennis Jakes. A super senior in John Handegard, number 19. And Kelly Kaufman, the big twister from Topeka, was 20th.
And 21st, Jess Stayrook, making at least his 3rd consecutive finals. Bob Benoit was 22nd. And a former PBA president, Mark McDowell, number 23rd.
Rounding out the top 24, Jay Burgess and Steve Hoskins, who has really had a very solid year here in 1994, had to withdraw, I should say, with an injury. All right, when we come back, Butch Soper and Dave Ferraro, live from the Welsh Auditorium in Grand Rapids, Michigan. A view from where Bob Uecker would be sitting here this evening at the Welsh Arena. If Bob were here, he might be. We don't know.
I think I see him up in the corner over there.
He enjoyed last game. Ferraro and Butch Soper set in the semifinal.
People still moving around. Ferraro pretty good at shutting things out, focusing.
Yes, a familiar sight for Mr. Ferraro here on the championship round pair of 3 and 4.
Well, we've had 10 strikes by Ferraro, 10 by McCune in the first match, 9 in the second match. 10 strikes it looks like he's going to take to win these matches now. That noise you hear is Butch screwing his hand into that ball.
7-pin stood momentarily, but Butch took care of that. You mentioned that super tight thumb hole. How did you like to have your thumb hole, Mike?
Reasonably snug, but you know, I had to allow for the shortness of the span on
pressure shot, so in other words, I had a tendency to squeeze it sometimes. Butchie right over about the 4th board.
Some might misinterpret that for the sound of old bones, but it's not really.
Yep. Butchie's found the fountain of youth at age 45.
He has really had a terrific year, especially as of late. Wonderful run. I don't know about you, but Dave Ferraro looks awfully relaxed, confident, and in control.
Well, McCune did too. I mean, let's face it, he bowled 250 and didn't win. And most of the times, you'll take 250 and not even bowl. Let your opponent shoot against it. Just a hair off, slightly softer with the speed. He's looking at the approach. Do I need to move? Did I throw it a little slower? That's what's going through his mind right now.
In your estimation, though, he did throw it a little slow?
I thought so. Just a hair. A little relaxed, like you say.
And the question is, does he know?
Bad trouble. Wow. A little too relaxed there, Dan.
Well, when you don't shoot any spares.
Yeah, but they did shoot spares in practice. Maybe he didn't with this ball, because he did go to it late in the practice session.
Do you think he shot a 4-pin?
Obviously not. Big break for Soper, though. Opportunity to really jump on him.
Oh, I better make a move on this lane, too.
Butchie talking to himself there that you're going to make a move on this lane. There's Norm Duke and his wife Karen looking on. Butchie at the 9-pin. Has it. Five-step approach. Again, way at the back of the approach. Way at the back here. Holds the ball low. Going to step with that left foot. Just kind of drops it down there. And again, as he hits that pivot step, look at how high the backswing is for a 45-year-old guy. And the straight left leg as he comes through the shot. This time he leaves the 4-9.
How realistic to try and make this?
Got to go for it.
In terms of the degree of difficulty?
In terms of degree of difficulty, I'd say like 5-1 at this point. But a pro, he knows that he's got to get it left, and he has an idea of what he wants to do. Butchie's lining up and definitely going for it. Oh, he's got it.
All I have to say is we'll be right back with this commercial message.
Butchie's taking a shot at that 4-9. We'll show you how he did it. He's going to hit it left right there. And slides it right in. Just like he knew what he was doing then.
One of the most accurate players on the tour for a lot of years. Ferraro comes back. Beautiful shot on lane 4 to counter the split conversion.
Well, he needs, as we see the scoreboard, the difference 10 pins. Strike here evens the match. Both players not too tall and start way at the back of the approach.
Smaller steps to gain some velocity.
You're going to have to make a move. Both of them are going to have to make a move on this left lane.
Lanes are breaking down.
Slightly, just a hair. Enough to climb from flush to 4-pin.
4 to 4-9.
Yeah. You know, it just took him one shot to learn, that's all. He's not going to do it twice. You know, the last 3 times that Butchie's been in a telecast, he's been knocked out of it by Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Well, Walter Ray finished 13th this week. He's not here. Mm-hmm. So Butchie says, hey, it's clear sailing.
It's a good sign. I don't know if he adjusted or just decided to drop it at the foul line, but it worked.
Right. He adjusted.
And don't forget, next week, the PBA wraps up the 1994 Fall Tour. The Brunswick Memorial World Open coming your way live on ESPN beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday night.
987.
And we'll have a special announcement at the end of this match.
Concerning Brunswick and the World Open.
You hear what he said? Too much. See, he made the adjustment. I don't know whether he moved one board or moved two with his feet and one with his target. Probably just moved a board, but he's in the position now that he goes back a board. He leaves the 4-9, he moves left, and he's got weak. I mean,
yeah, but what if he stays where he is and throws just a little better shot? Well, he's made the adjustment. He knows now he's not going to go high.
That's true, he does. Yeah, well,
right?
That's probably going through his mind. But when the ball hits weak when you come in light, it affects you psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening with Ferraro. Oh, what a nice break. That was probably the 8-pin or the 9-pin that got that. I'd like to see that again.
So with Dave.
There's the scoreboard. Still 10 pins. Two 4-pins in a row on this lane. Oh, what hit the 10?
So obviously a little move for Mr. Ferraro, who blows a sigh of relief after a popcorn strike in the 7th. The double, the Natch is even. A couple of veterans really putting on a nice show. We'll be back with the conclusion of the semifinal right after this. All right, even match as we head now into the 7th frame. Butch Soper. Let's see if he makes the proper adjustment.
Well, you felt he kind of dropped it, but you know this synthetic surface makes a loud noise, a pretty loud noise when it hits the lane. Tried to make the better shot, then went over the top. The helicopter shot that time did not work. Double pinochle, basically go for two.
Well, they made one split tonight.
Oh! Oh!
If he'd have pulled that one off.
He makes the 4-6. It doesn't get the 7. Oh!
What a spectacular shot that was.
Oh,
so close. Double wood, double peanut. Ever make that?
never, but I've had it made against me.
Oh. That's what Ferraro would have been saying.
He's lost. That's move off the double pinochle, Dan.
Yep. Only get one chance at it out here.
2, 4, 5. Butch should slip it away from him.
You could just see he wasn't particularly comfortable with the ball reaction, where he was playing and how he was set up to play this pair. He was just trying to hope to ease his way in and maybe have Ferraro make a mistake.
Or find something as he went along.
Right.
And it just didn't happen. Ferraro just steady, made one mistake on the missed spare. He's hooking it more and has a much better ball reaction.
Up by 15, now 25, and the lights are going to go out shortly for Butch Soper.
Butch has to hope that he doesn't strike here. It's his only chance. Oh, what a nice break. Woo!
Sometimes it's just meant to be. And after a popcorn strike on 3 the last time around, I wonder if he made an adjustment or slowed his speed up because that ball was high.
The speed was just a hair slower.
Okay. Ferraro with an opportunity to shoot 247. Meanwhile, Butch is going to finish up 3rd this week.
That's the shot he's looking. Denny is not out of it yet. If he strikes out, he can finish with 212, would force him to maintain at least a decent count to get 8 on the first ball.
That's a good point. Scores are so high, I guess I'm a little bit nonchalant with those 35-pin leads.
He's moving back to the right, I think, on this lane. Target should be right around the 5th board. That's what he hit.
Right.
Well, just kind of a quiet, that's it, he says to himself. Another good week for him, but I know Butch was looking to win. I mean, you know, just nice to steal a win at age 45.
The way he's playing, don't count him out next week. Right. Better late than never. 192 for Butch Soper. Ferraro cruising on into a title match.
Looking to get 10 strikes again this game, then.
Well, he had 10 in a row the last time.
Yeah.
For 289.
Interesting the way the scoring goes in bowling. You know, you can get 10 strikes this game and finish with 247. 10 last game, he had 280.
Well, when you miss a 4-pin, that'll muck things up a little bit.
Well, he's relaxed. He's ready.
He better be.
Well, Duke didn't want to bowl him, I don't think. I mean, not that Norm's afraid of anybody, but if anybody in the field, I think Ferraro might make his heart beat a little bit. Well, that's why he gets so many strikes, because he can't make the spares.
Normally known as an outstanding spare shooter. 235 for Dave Ferraro to 192 for Butch Soper. He'll be back next week, and we'll be back. Let's join PBA Commissioner Mike Connor, who is at the Palmer House in Chicago at the Brunswick Memorial World Open pre-tournament banquet for a major bowling announcement.
On behalf of the entire PBA, it is an honor to be here tonight as the sport of bowling announces the creation of a major event live before a national television audience on ESPN. Since 1971, the Brunswick Memorial World Open has brought the world's greatest bowlers together to compete head-to-head to determine the world's best. And since 1965, the Tournament of Champions has been contested in a format featuring an elite field of bowlers, all of whom are champions. I am excited to announce tonight that these two great major tournaments will be merging to create a new international crown jewel of the bowling world. To provide the details, it is now my pleasure to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of Brunswick Corporation, Mr. Jack Reichert. Jack.
Thank you, Mike. I am proud to announce that beginning this April, the $300,000 Brunswick World Tournament of Champions will be contested in a suburb of Chicago and will feature a first-place prize of $60,000 and a new Bayliner boat made by Brunswick. The event will include a field of 64 elite bowlers, including an expanded international field, recent Brunswick Memorial World Open winners, and the leading PBA players. 1995 is very special to Brunswick because it marks our 150th anniversary. Brunswick was instrumental in helping to develop the game of bowling as it is known today and has been the leader in the sport ever since. Brunswick is proud to renew our commitment to the sport of bowling, and we look forward to the continuation of a very successful relationship with the Professional Bowlers Association. Mike?
Thank you, Jack. On behalf of our PBA, along with the U.S. Open and the PBA National Championship, this event will become the third element of bowling's Triple Crown. We are greatly looking forward to the continuation of our long-standing relationship with Brunswick. And now let's return to Grand Rapids for the championship game of the Great Lakes PBA Classic. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Commissioner. Congratulations to Jack Reichert and all of the wonderful folks at Brunswick. We wish them the best of luck with their new event. When we come back, it's Norm Duke and Dave Ferraro. Would the Duke be king? Come back and find out. Just to give you some idea what kind of a year that Norm Duke is putting together, we decided to take a look at some yearly percentage numbers in terms of winning, Mike.
And you see some of the great players in PBA history in the years that they had their best years. Mark Roth with both 78 and 79, 26 tournaments, 8 wins, and 79, 26 and 6 wins. So you have 14 wins in 52 tournaments. That's a 27% average. Norm Duke, if he wins tonight, would have 20 out of 26, 30%. That's 3 out of every 10. Dennis.
You know, what's really amazing as well, the only title match he lost this year was when he shot 280. So conceivably, he could have been 7 out of 20.
Conceivably, he could have been. Well, yeah, but he has to beat Mr. Ferraro first.
You know, the other thing that was interesting, Mike, in terms of looking at the numbers, especially Norm Duke in his career, he won only 4 of his first 301 tournaments.
Shows you what confidence will do, doesn't it, Dan? Duke seemed to like the right lane better in practice.
Just a touch light, ends up with the tender 2-pin.
He's got to circle it more, Dan. We're sitting right behind him. That ball went left to the second arrow, and I think he needs to circle it a little bit more and get it out around the 8th board. Norm goes very straight at his spares most of the time. Right at the 2-pin.
While we've got a moment as well, a good friend of mine, PBA Hall of Famer Dave Davis, underwent some arthroscopic knee surgery on that right knee to clean a few things out. So I know he's resting, leg up at this point in time. Wish him a speedy recovery to get back on that senior tour.
Well, if he's healthy out there, he may win 5 or 6 in the year, huh?
Oh, he's a threat.
Yes, I know he is.
Beautiful opening shot by Dave Ferraro.
And as you remarked earlier, he just seems so relaxed and confident. I mean, to me, the advantage has got to be with him. He's got 2 big games on this pair. Duke has got to find the pair. We gave that a lot of room. Wow. Woo.
Starting the title match just like he did game number 1, where he reeled off 10 consecutive strikes.
Duke has got to find it right away. You just can't let a guy like Ferraro get too far in front of you. Quick, Dan. He just looks a little quick to me. You know, he just wasn't with it to catch that shot. It didn't look like to me. Leaves the 2-5. He's going to go straight at this spare again, too. But boy, spares are not going to beat Ferraro. And has it, he'll take it. Ferraro, or Duke rather, all the way at the back of the approach. We see him holding the ball waist high right here. Pushes it out. Nice straight arm swing. As he hits the peak, we see the backswing a little bit higher than his head right there. Look at the knee bend. Look at the angle of the shoulders there. Nice finish, but he didn't get the fingers in that shot that he wanted. And he's just not far enough outside.
Fans trying to exhort Duke onto a strike here, but he has been unable to really throw a ball flush in the pocket here in the first 3 frames.
Any kind of pocket. I mean, when you're leaving the 2-pin, Dan, that's not the pocket. That's 3 straight 2-pins in a row. I know he might be afraid of going high. Maybe he's going to switch balls. He goes over and gets another one. We'll see if he switches to that one. Boy, Ferraro could head by 13, could jump up by 33 with 2 more strikes.
Another solid shot. And don't forget, next week, the finale of the '94 Fall Tour, and I guess this will be the final Brunswick Memorial World Open as we know it, next Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Lake Zurich, Illinois. When you talk about moving champions, I grew up in Akron, watched probably each and every one of them, and There are a lot of great bowling fans in that area that have to be saddened this evening to hear that the tournament will be leaving the Akron area. I guess the best analogy I could make, Michael, is it would be like moving the Masters from Augusta National.
Yeah, well, I've been, I bowled in the tournament for 25 years, Dan. I've been involved as a bowler, as a tournament official, and as a proprietor. So there's a lot of heavy hearts in Akron right now that tournament's leaving there.
And I know you would never say it, but of course Mike Durbin, the only 3-time winner of the Tournament of Champions. And I guess all we can do now is to look beyond all that and hope that the New Brunswick World Tournament of Champions will end up perhaps the finest tournament in the world. And I don't know if Jack Reichert has anything to do with it. That's what's behind the man.
Well, as time goes on, things do change. And he did not switch balls that I can see. He's still using the same ball. He just threw it a little slower. Gave him more room. That's what he needs to do, but he may have waited too long.
All he's hoping for now is just some kind of a slim chance to make a comeback as he trails by 23.
He's just hoping for a tap. Any kind of tap.
Not so far.
It's got to be a solid 8 if it is one. Oh.
Ferraro really putting on a show.
Knocks the 10 out of there.
Very aggressive shot, and his #1 fan, wife Gloria, along with children John David and Gabrielle. I know one thing, they're jumping up and down right now in Kingston.
Well, right now, yeah. Norm Duke needs to get 2 more strikes to keep the pressure on at all. Fiddling with that grip. Does it feel right? Well, I don't know how you make a good shot if it doesn't feel right.
He got a handful.
Oh, he's lined up now.
Shot. I had a chance to talk to Norm and asked him, what about this arena atmosphere? What do you think coming into the finals?
I'm excited about it. And I told my wife earlier this year when they bowled the second event in the arena, I said, that's got to be where it's at right there. You got 3,000 or 4,000 people just going crazy. And when Brian Voss stopped that music that one day and he had the first 7, that was just the best thing in bowling to me. I thought that was just kind of neat. And so I'm excited about it. And I thought about it today. I said, look, I want to go in there and I want to do something so I can perform in front of that many people.
Karen's looking on, along with Bill Hall. And her man is coming back, but he's still down by 23.
He's potential score of 267, though, Dan. So, I mean, and Ferraro knows it. These guys, the bowlers are all mathematicians.
But as I mentioned earlier this year, Duke shot 280 and was snapped off by Brian Goebel.
That's right. He stared at 11 in a row that time. It could happen again. Duke is saying that maybe deja vu here. You're right. And I guess we're asking for a re-rack here. I'm not sure what the delay. He is asking for a re-rack. He doesn't like the rack. Looks like the 3-pin might be a hair in. He's looking at solid 10s right now.
Is it a hair or a skosh?
Freckle.
Okay.
That one looks pretty good to me. A little extra time here now. Boy, he swung that. Oh, and he got the 10 out of there. Duke to have any chance, he has to strike here.
More speed, gotta hurry.
Oh, what a break. Nice break there. I don't know what pin that was. He got the set. Had to be the head pin that got it. Comes in light. The head pin goes to the sideboard, comes off, dances, and gets the 7.
I'll tell you what was so great when Ferraro came back after the 8-bagger. Norm put his hand out, gave him 5s. A beautiful shot. That shows a lot of class.
set himself up for the 10th.
Still in the hunt. Oh. Well, after he made the adjustment, he's perfect, but we'll find out if it's enough. Is nice, but 10's terrific.
The first one, as we see the scoreboard, locks up the tournament. The only thing that could beat the tournament now is if he opened in the 10th frame. A lot of things going through his mind, but what he's thinking is one more good shot.
Twice tonight, the 10 pin, and all Ferraro can do is say, I've done my best.
He's got to make it, Denny. He's got to make it. Everybody's standing, but he has not won the tournament yet.
Keep in mind, he's had problems making spares tonight.
Missed a 4-pin, missed a 7-pin in the fill ball. And dead center. He looks at the score. That's enough right there. I don't need anything more.
After a 2.5-year wait, the man that we said looked calm and comfortable with a brilliant performance here tonight with a strike would shoot .279 this game and a .289 earlier. And that pretty much says it all for Ferraro. And Norm Duke is the first to stand, applaud, and pat him on the back for one heck of an effort.
Ferraro, who says his shoulder is still bothering him, is not all the way back, but it's hard to see him get much better than that.
Norm Duke probably still has his eye on at least one more victory this year. He'll be heading to Lake Zurich.
Amazing. The 2 times that he loses in the title match, he's going to average in the 270s. Both losses.
That's enough to break your heart. Huh?
Well, it evens out. He didn't bowl, you know, as well last week and won. This week he comes out, bowls 260 if he strikes here. Well, 250 something. The 250s lose on the telecast tonight, Den.
A magnificent champion, the man right now that's pretty much got the PBA Player of the Year stamp of approval.
Ferraro with a 279 game shoots 803 for the 3 games.
Norm Duke 256, 279, 256. It doesn't get too much better than this on the PBA Tour. All right, when we come back, we'll chat with Dave Ferraro, probably Norm Duke as well, from Grand Rapids. The championship round finals of the Great Lakes Classic are being brought to you by the new Rheem 90 Plus high efficiency furnace is tough tested for reliability. Fantastic scoring in the title match. Dave Ferraro. It's been 2.5 years since he has won a title. And before we get to the specifics, Ron Eaton, one of the tri-proprietors, I guess, of Spectrum Lanes that held the tournament all week long, has a trophy to present to you.
Dave, congratulations. Exciting match. I know everyone here was rooting for you on both those 10 pins. Again, thank you for the excitement.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, we have another Mr. Eaton as well, and this one has a nice check to provide you.
$16,000. Very nice week. And I'd like to thank everybody in Grand Rapids that came out. Nice bowling, Dave. Thank you, Mike. Very nice. Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody in Spectrum Lanes and Mike Eaton and his staff. I mean, this has been great. The arena here, I mean, you can't get any more electrifying than this. We thank you. I guess it takes the best bowler in the world to get me pumped up to win a title, but thanks, Norm.
All right, when we come back, We'll talk to the best player in the world, at least according to Dave Ferraro, Norm Duke, and Dave as well. So don't go away. Well, I don't blame him for cheering. A couple of different shots and a perfect game, especially the first time out.
I'll tell you, look, to just get that chance once, no less, twice in one night. I mean, that was fun.
Did you throw a good shot in the 11th?
Well, I did it the first time. The game against Norm, no, I didn't throw it too well. I wish I can get that one over.
Speaking of Norm Duke, he's with Mike Durbin.
Norm, twice this year, you lost from the title match, once with 280 to Brian Goebel, 254 here. You got to be thinking, what do you got to do?
Well, you know, it's part of it, and the lanes were conducive to high scores, and I knew when I stepped up there that the first one misses is out, and boy, he just proved me right.
What kind of adjustment did you make after the 3 spares? You were light, and then suddenly out the sheet.
Well, I was afraid of the right, to miss the right because of the hook out there, so I ended up having to move back to the left and soften up and let the ball roll, but I just didn't make good shots. There's 4 or 5 ways I could have went around it today, but it always takes good shots, and he outbowled me, there's no question.
Michael, I've got a question for Dave Ferraro. Dave, an opportunity to bowl in an arena atmosphere. You guys looked like you were so much more charged up with all the energy here.
Well, you got probably 3 or 4 times the crowd that we normally get in the bowling center. You know, you can accommodate a lot of people, and especially when you're stringing strikes like this, you know, the fans get behind you, and it's fun for us also.
In practice, you were going back and forth between a couple balls. It didn't look like you were that comfortable. Suddenly you come out and you're just wired. What kind of an adjustment did you make there?
Well, I was using a couple balls that hooked a little bit more, and I was a little too far left with my feet, and I got something that went a little bit straighter. And obviously I had the right angle to the pocket because I knocked the corner pins down, except for a few shots. So I was just the right guess, like Norm says. You know, here it's a crapshoot. You make the right guess and you strike. You don't, and sometimes you don't.
And the spare shots, the 4-pin and 7-pin?
I'll tell you, I've been striking so much here, I didn't really practice too many of them.
And it showed. All right, Norm Duke. Next week, Brunswick Memorial World Open. I'll ask this question to both of you guys. The chances for a victory next week, that's a tough tournament to win. Norm?
Well, you know, it's a big tournament. It's the largest of the fall tour, at least, you know, the ending, and it'd be a great tournament to win. It's a major, and boy, I tell you what, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, Brunswick's been a great sponsor for the tour. Now with this information here tonight, about the the Tournament of Champions, we're really looking forward to getting there.
David, you mentioned earlier that you had to beat the best bowler in the world this year. Is that what you think? Is Duke the best bowler?
Without a doubt. I mean, I saw the stat up there, 30% win percentage. I mean, 30% show percentage or final percentage. A lot of guys would take that. I mean, this guy's winning 1 out of 3 tournaments. I mean,
and then shooting 280 or 250 and losing in the other ones, right?
He could have won 7 times this year. I mean, that's pretty remarkable.
Norm?
Thank you, Dave. I hope everybody feels that way.
Well, I know that you've really had a sensational year, and both of you guys put on a terrific show tonight. And for those who had an opportunity to watch, certainly they enjoyed that. Some of the younger guys as well threw lots of strikes, and I know you're looking forward to a big finish. 2.5 years since the last victory. That's a long time, David, in between ventures into the winner's circle.
Yeah, it is. And I have a question. Do I get a patch for that? I believe I shot 800.
803.
803 is right, yeah. I have a question for both of you. Both of you have been struggling through injuries, the rotator cuff with you, your foot. How's the foot? How's the shoulder?
Well, this fall tour, my shoulders finally felt where it hasn't bothered me to bowl. You know, it bothers me doing other things, but I'm able to go through the ball now, and it was a long winter tour.
I'm doing just fine. My podiatrist at home, he worked me over good, and I'm ready to go.
Podiatrist is a foot doctor, for those that don't know, right?
I hope.
Just one final question. World Open is a different format with 3 squads, A, B, and C. How tough is it to get through to the finals in that type of an event?
Well, I kind of like the long format because it gives you more games, and you know, you can figure out the condition a little bit easier because it's a longer tournament. And usually the best bowlers come on the top when you're bowling 56 games.
Well, tonight we had 2 of the best, certainly, in Dave Ferraro and Norm Duke. Want to say goodbye, everybody, from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Great bowling, guys. Great match.
The PBA Tour wraps up its 1994 Fall Tour at Brunswick Deer Park Lanes, located in Lake Zurich, Illinois, with the championship round finals of the Brunswick Memorial World Open beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, November 9th, live on